AM 590, KXSP Omaha's ESPN Radio. It's time for the Metro's only racing talk show. The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Now, here's Dan Taylor and Buddy Ray.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. That is karting with a K.com. Fast-paced white-knuckle racing where the only speed restriction is how fast you are. And
you're not.
Your lovely tips on Facebook, it's better to brake than to just gas through the corner because it's simple. You think to yourself, and I've had so many friends tell me the same thing, I'm so slow with Joe's Karting. It's to use your brake.
Slower is faster.
Yeah, exactly. You got to slow down for corners. It's not like driving out on the road. You can't just haul through the corners. You got to take it a little bit more safe when you're at Joe's Karting.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
joeskarting.com. Karting with a K. Full directions online at joeskarting.com. Also check out their Facebook page for quizzes, specials, tips, pictures, videos on their Facebook page at Joe's Karting. Joining us today on the Front Stretch for an action-packed show, Wade Cross is joining us of FX Shocks. Thanks so much for coming back on the show with us, Wade.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
A lot to talk about, and let's just cut right to it. Apparently you are stepping up and picking up the slack of other people.
Well, yeah, I guess to a point. It's probably not. It's probably old news now, but on my home track, Mid Nebraska Speedway is closing down. The owner's just kind of getting, he's kind of getting up there in age, and he's just kind of to the point where he doesn't want to do it anymore. And we respect that, and we're happy to have a racetrack to race within the last 18 years. But one thing that's kind of got lost in the equation is he's not having a banquet, and man, that just kind of hit home to a couple of us because, we remember what it was like to win our first championship and to be Rookie of the Years, and these poor guys ain't going to be able to get recognized. And so I just thought that was kind of a travesty, and I mean, I ain't pointing no fingers, but I think it just was a bad deal, and, I thought I could maybe help out. With me and my shock business, I do a lot of business with a lot of racers, and they do me well, and I mean, it was my time to finally give back, so I'm pretty happy to do it, and a lot of people on board helping out. It's going to be a good deal for everybody.
And that shock company you're talking about is FX Shocks, and you're a supporter of this show. We do appreciate the support you show the community and this show especially, because if it wasn't for guys like you, we wouldn't be on the air today. So a big thank you to you. Have you begun the planning process for the banquet? Do you know when, where exactly yet?
We're not 100% positive on it, but it's looking like it's going to be February 1st. Okay. We're going to be having it at the Elks Club in Grand Island, Nebraska, which is maybe 5 miles from the racetrack. We just had a lot of support. We couldn't believe it. I mean, me and a fellow racer, actually two fellow racers, Chad Dolan and Bob Lawson, some local guys, and we just made some phone calls because we all kind of have some resources because we've all been in the racing community since we was kids, and
yep.
You pick up a lot of people, and a lot of people know you and sponsors and things. And basically, we just started making phone calls, and we just couldn't believe, it was just overwhelming, all the people that want to help us out in this deal. And, I mean, we're looking at having some of the biggest trophies I've ever seen, things like that. We're working on big-time giveaways, parts, just lots of carrying things. My plan was to have everybody leave with something. That's first at a lot of banquets, a lot of door prizes. I'm even trying to sneak in a paid Las Vegas vacation as well. So it's going to be something to see. I think it's going to be a cool deal.
Can I win that Las Vegas? I beat you to it. Can I win that Las Vegas trip?
Well, here's the catch of this whole deal. It's we only got room for 225 people. We're roughly 200 to 225. And unfortunately, the racers all have to get first dibs on everything because we want the racers there to get it accepted and to get their stuff and to be able to, take home a loot of some kind, And we're really hoping we have plenty of left over after they get theirs to, be able for the community to come in because that Vegas trip's going to be available to anybody.
Yeah, and feel free to hold a couple of things back for your old friend Dan Taylor. I'm just kidding.
Dan, you cannot take your cat to Vegas. Now, me, I have a wife I can take to Vegas.
Would love to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I have fun every time I go. I just leave a lot broker every time I come back.
One time you'll hit it big, and then you won't ever have to go back again. Talking to Wade Cross of FX Shocks. Wade, if somebody wants to get involved with this award ceremony for Mid Nebraska Raceway for the 2013 season, how can they contact you guys to maybe donate some product or time to help out?
Sure, you can get a hold of me. My phone number, if you want that now, is 308-383-9609. You can go online and find me anywhere. FX Suspension, Wade at wadecross.com is my email. You can basically just type in Wade Cross, and my phone number pops right up. And there's plenty of ways to get a hold of me. You can just kind of ask around, but like I said, you can do a Google search for me, and you'll find it. One thing I need to stress: this deal isn't at all affiliated with Mid Nebraska Speedway. We didn't want to get into any hot water there, step on any of the promoters' toes. This is all, and this is something I want to stress: this is all a racers for racers thing. The racers are putting this on. And we're trying to keep everybody happy, trying to not step on any toes, and we're just trying to make this a fun thing for everybody.
If I can't ask maybe a bit of a touchy question, and feel free to tell me to go fly a kite if you don't want to answer it, but have you had a conversation with the owner of Mid Nebraska Raceway about this? Was there any kind of, do you mind if I do this, or was it just, you know what, I'm going to do it?
Well, I would have liked to have, but I don't want to tell you to fly kite. Basically, I know I don't have to do that because I know what the answer would have been.
Okay.
I've been affiliated with racing there since I was a little kid. I know exactly what would have happened. So we just left it at that. And but at the same time, we're not trying to bash the promoter because, like I said, man, we had a place to race for 18 years.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome race. It's an awesome place. The track surface is so consistent, and I'm not here to blow smoke, but I love racing at that place, and anybody that's ever raced there will tell you the same thing. It's a neat place, and it's a shame that it's not running. I wish I could step into the promoter role, but I just committed to tonight to go racing big time next year, so I'm probably going to be you're going to see me racing somewhere. So.
Well, that kind of answers my next question. So let me rephrase it a little bit. Have you heard any kind of rumblings, any chatter? Is it done? Is it Mid Nebraska is closed and it's not coming back at least for 2014?
We received a letter. Every points racer there this year received a letter saying that Doug was going to he just didn't want to open it up next year. And we all knew it was coming. Writing's been on the wall for a few years, and we just wanted to. We haven't heard nothing. I don't know that it's even feasible to buy the thing. I haven't even looked into the logistics of it. That's so far beyond me of what I could handle. I definitely wouldn't want to promote it. You talk about a thankless job. I haven't heard nothing, and for the foreseeable future, I don't see it happening. Honestly, I think it's going to have to sit a while before they realize that there's a potential there. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, for the little bit of legwork I've done over the last week semi-promoting this banquet, the outpour is unbelievable. So it just tells me that the place is a gold mine. It just needs, I don't know, I'm not going to be on air and tell you what it needs, but yeah. It needs a change. So I'm hoping somebody steps up because, man, I love racing there. It's 5 miles from my home. It's my favorite track. I've won countless features there, and I don't ever want to see it go. My dad used to race there.
Can I ask you to speculate just a little bit more? I know it's kind of a tricky situation for you because you don't want to step on any toes, but do you have an idea of what the underlying cause was for the closure of the track?
Well, and like I said, you don't want to step on any toes, but Doug's saying the promoter is, he ain't no kid no more,
Yeah.
Him and and I tell you what, I used to live out by there. And I drive by that place, and the racetrack. You're gonna look at it because there's 100 yards from the road. Mm-hmm. And I stare at it every day, and I want to tell you, out of 365 days of the year that I drove by it, his pickup was there 75% of the time, and when it was summertime, it was there 100% of the time. So I know the hours he put into that thing, and I wouldn't want to do it, man. There's no way I could possibly even think about making a living being a promoter. That's like I said, that's a thankless job. You got to love it. And it's going to come to a point where you just don't love it anymore.
It just wears on you.
Oh man, I couldn't do it, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit because, like I said, the writing was on the wall. You could see a lot of the things dwindling, and racing's a tough gig. Promoting's a tough gig. I think it's, I commend the guys that stay into it as long as they have. Roger and Lincoln, Gutowski's, them guys have, I guarantee you that stuff's got to wear on those guys every day, because that's a lot of money, that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of headache, and I sure couldn't do it. I have no interest in it one bit.
I'll tell you firsthand. I mean, we're good friends with Joe Gutowski, and he may never admit it, but I see it wearing on him. I mean, it exhausts you by the end of the day when you're dealing with rule changes and drivers, and I mean, it's such a big task that you don't blame anybody for just saying, I got to take a break, I got to walk away.
Oh yeah, and I've been to McCool a few times, and I've known Jason Friesen since I was a little kid. We raced together. We battled points championships together back when we ran stock cars, and he don't got the sparkle in his eye like he used to have, and I know it has a lot to do with that racetrack.
Well, we're talking with Wade Cross of FX Suspensions. Wade, thanks so much for joining us so far tonight. Well, let's talk about FX Suspensions. What do you guys got going on for 2014? We're
actually really going to have a good year. I picked up a few more lines, and me and one of my workers, we went down to Indiana and spent a weekend in AFCO, and learned a lot actually, and also at the same time, and going to be able to apply a lot to the stuff that I currently do now. And they had some, they're wanting to step up their program too, and that's why they invited me down. And I said, man, we could use some help, and one of our main people from Bilstein, because that's my primary shock builder that I deal with as far as the company and manufacturer. Their head of motorsports left and went to AFCO, and so that I'm kind of riding his coattails. He's the one that said we need to get Wade involved because Wade has such a huge client base. It would be beneficial for everybody, and it's that deal's starting to take off. So basically, I'm going to be a lot more involved in the AFCO world. We got a lot of late models around here that run them, and so I'm hoping to be a little bit more involved there. I'm actually looking to step in more into the Integra world as well. But like I said, I'm not trying to flip my customers into going to another direction, because I truly believe in the product that I've been pushing now, and I got some big plans for that too. I'm actually getting some of my own custom pieces built right now as we speak. Last year was kind of an R&D for a few of my drivers that I sponsor, and they won a GOB races last year. Between just for instance, Kyle Preiner, Mike Nichols, Tyler Iverson. They're the guys that are kind of my R&D guys, and they help me out a lot. And they tell me when it's crap, and they tell me when it's right. So we got a lot going next year. It's gonna be fun.
How can a driver get a hold of you to start running FX Suspensions and FX shocks?
Just now started. I forgot all about this. I should have mentioned this sooner. I got a Facebook page now.
Hey.
Turns out I'm supposed to have a Facebook page, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, somebody, this Jeff Jolison actually told me, he says, man, you're wasting your time on that with spending all that money doing an actual website. You should look into Facebook, because you can adjust it every day and do all this. And I just thought he was crazy, because everybody knows Jeff. And it's free. And Jeff goes, it's free.
I mean, it's not expensive to run a website, but you can't beat free.
Sure. This gal of mine, this girl, lady friend of mine, she's like, I'll help set up this page. I'm like, okay. So we set it up, and about 11 o'clock on I want to say Wednesday night is when we actually had it active live. And by noon on Friday, we had over 500 likes.
Wow.
And I was just shocked. I didn't know that many people pay attention to anything. I need to watch what I say on my Facebook, because I didn't realize so many people probably think I'm an idiot at times. So I need to revisit that a little bit. But I'm happy that I'm happy that it's taken off the way it has, and it was really nice, because a couple guys got on there and did some testimonials, and testimonials sell product like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
And I tell you, it was quite. I just couldn't fathom it. I didn't realize guys had these kind of seasons. I didn't realize guys won these many races with our stuff. I'm tickled. I'm tickled pink. I'm glad we did that Facebook deal. So Facebook would be the way to go. FX Suspension. Go in there, like the page, and you can see the updates. I'm not the greatest about updating that stuff, but I'll do my best. And then you can, like I said, we also have a website, fxsuspension.com. And then my email address is wade@wadecross.com. And like I said, my phone number earlier, you can find me anyway. Just type in FX Suspension, type in Wade Cross on the Google search, and you'll find me.
Well, I just invited all my friends to like your Facebook page, so hopefully we can drive up them likes a little bit more.
Awesome. That's great.
All 6 of them. All right, Wade, thanks so much for joining us. We'll have you back on the show shortly, and we'll chit-chat a little bit more. I got to ask you one last thing. Did you ever race at Sunset Speedway?
I got the opportunity to run there on a practice day, and it was in a modified. It had probably been like maybe 96, 97, and it was on a practice day, and it would have been fun. I mean, you could tell it was a tricky, slick place, and would have been a lot of fun, but it's kind of like Belleville. It's one of those places you're just glad you got to turn some laps on because it's just a legendary deal.
Yeah. Well, we hope you can join us a couple of weeks from now. We're going to be at Quicker Steak and Lube on January 22nd on a Wednesday night. We're going to do a walk down Sunset Lane. We're going to have some great drivers that are going to come out and talk to us. The Kaziski boys are going to be there along with their dad, Bob. Dave Chase is going to join us, Glenn Roby, Bill Rick, Leon Zeitner. So many drivers, including Buddy's going to be there. It's going to be fantastic.
Including Buddy.
Yeah. He's going to be there.
The showstopper.
Literally, he ends up stopping the show. So, all right, Wade Cross of FX Suspensions. Find him on Facebook, find him online, email him, and get them under your car today and start performing at the top notch. Thanks so much for joining us, Wade. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate what you do.
All right, how about we swing over and talk with Tom Gutowski, the competition director for IMCA.
Tom Gutowski.
It's just an easy name to do that, isn't it?
Yep.
Interns 3 and 4, we're going to talk with Don O'Neill as a part of the Legends of the Dirt series, brought to you by Kaziski Auto Parts, 51st and I Street. The real deal.
The real deal.
Don O'Neill is going to join us. What a show. Wade Cross, Tom Gutowski, and Don O'Neill. And Lee Ackerman's coming up in turns 3 and 4. Let's get over and talk to old
Tom Gutowski
on the front stretch here on AM 590 Omaha's ESPN Radio.
This is Andrew from Kaziski Auto Parts. Kaziski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kaziski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kaziski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kaziski Auto Parts. Our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
We're working the high line into turn 2 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Welcome back to the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting at Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. That is karting with a K. We're joined by the man who wields a lot of power in this area, the competition director for IMCA. It's Tom Gutowski. I always want to do it that way. I got a feeling since I'm not the first one to say your name like that, huh?
No, definitely not.
Tom, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to chit-chat with us a little bit. It's the off-season for IMCA. It's the off-season for dirt tracks, so a lot of drivers are getting their cars ready for 2014 if they're not already prepared for some of the specials. So we kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit, as we always do, a little fun, impersonal. What's Tom doing in the off-season, but then also kind of figure out what IMCA's got going on, and then maybe get a little bit of insight for any possible changes you guys might have coming down the line for some rule package changes. So let's start off with the easy stuff. What are you up to these days, big guy?
Well, actually, I'm out in Elyria, Ohio, where I was born and raised, visiting family for the holidays, and after my father passed away, I found myself being the patriarch of the Gutowski family. So,
sorry to hear your father passed.
Yeah, I was sorry to see him go in one way, but he had 90 really, really good years, and the last year just sucked.
Yeah. That's kind of how my grandpa went, too. I was sad to see him go, but I was glad that he was out of pain finally.
Yep. I'm here carrying on the tradition with the family. Saturday night, we're having our big get-together with the whole family, and usually about 40 or 50 cousins, and everybody show up, so it's a good time.
Wow. I get tired of my family. I got about 10 cousins. I don't know how you do it.
Well, they're cousins and then kids of cousins. I'm in that generation now. I'm in my 60s. Gonna hit 68 here in January. So.
That's nothing. You're just getting started, right?
Well, I hope so.
Let's talk about some IMCA stuff. What are you guys doing at the main headquarters? Any work being done over the next couple of weeks, or is it kind of kick your feet up and relax?
Well, there's really no real off season. Probably the closest we get to a definite break is they close the office between Christmas and New Year's and let everybody take a breather. Of course, everybody knows my numbers, so about the only day that I try to reserve and not take any calls would be Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So
I think you guys need a break after the whole 604 issue this year. Good God.
The 604 certainly started a conversation that'll continue for many years, as those kind of things always do. I think we proved a very valid point that it doesn't require 5-digit priced engines making way too much horsepower, and we've got people thinking that, hey, maybe less is more, that kind of thing. And I mean, from my own personal observations, you see some of the premier engine builders have decided to quit whining and tackle the problem and compete, and lo and behold, it's driving down the cost of the engines. They're selling. I know Carl's had a flyer out. I carry it around in my briefcase for $64.99. An engine that weighs 2 pounds less than the crate engine. Makes, I think it was like 515 horse and 525 foot-pounds of torque. The main thing being that it's actually lighter, by the way they measured it on their scale, 2 pounds lighter than a crate engine with aluminum heads. So,
buddy, is that 2 pounds? I mean, is that a big difference? Is that a mildly noticeable difference?
No. If you could feel 2 pounds, you're pretty much like God. Now, with the aluminum heads on the front of the car, that does have a little bit of a difference on the rear percentage on the rear of the car. But work on your setups a little bit. Now,
but the main deal is that they were buying Dart SHP blocks, which probably weigh 40 pounds more than a standard small block. So what the engine builders are doing, they're going back to the OEM block, which is lighter.
I don't want to sit here and beat the crate engine. I mean, it's almost like beating a dead horse. There's a lot of us racers now. You go out on Twitter and Facebook, and we're just getting tired of hearing about it. They made a change. Go with it, or shut up and quit racing. We don't want you to quit racing, but we're getting
we don't want anybody to quit racing. The whole point.
No. We don't want no one to quit racing, but shut up or quit racing. I mean, but like you said, we don't want you to quit racing, but you're beating a dead horse here.
Now let me interject and just say it's shocking that a driver would complain to the point where people get tired of it. I'm shocked that would happen.
We all like debates and we like to have discussions, but now I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox here.
Oh, boy.
People need to leave Brett Root alone. I mean, the personal attacks and the accusations and stuff like out there against IMCA and Brett and that, it's uncalled for. Just they made a change. In my opinion, it was for the better, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But the one thing I do want to touch on, Tom, when you guys do make these changes, there was the blade issue, the spoiler with the 604 crate. Back in the day, it was the stickered wheels. There's been hundreds of changes over the course of time. It's called evolution. Things grow and evolve in today's world. You guys don't – it's not like you and Brett or anybody at IMCA just sits down and says, oh, we're just going to do this. Can you kind of talk, with the 604 being a main issue right now, how difficult and how easy or how hard is it for you guys to make a decision to say, okay, we're going to let you use a 604? When you have a blade – do you guys do testing, stuff like that on this stuff?
Well, yeah, we do. We just don't jump into it. And believe me, every change that we make is gone over, hashed about, thrown out, brought back, modified, padded, massaged. Ultimately, Brett has the final decision, but he takes all of our experience and wisdom and knowledge that we bring to the table, and, we get to put our input in and everything else. And, for the most part, we we all pretty much agree on things 100% before they're done. Now, this year, I mean, if everybody would step back and just look at all the rules for the IMCA divisions, there was very little real change this year.
That's one thing that we wanted to go into. Can you talk about maybe a couple of those smaller rules changes that drivers need to be aware of? Because there is one question I do have that I want to ask you on air.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can, I've got some time, so that's not a problem.
Oh, and we got plenty of time.
The matter is, we made an adjustment to the crate engine and the modifieds. We took an inch of spoiler away from them, so now they only get to use a 2-inch total material height blade. That seemed to be the biggest heartburn that everybody had. And so we looked at many things, believe me. We spent a day and a half solid locked up in a room in Vinton, Iowa, hashing the crate engine and what, if anything, we should do to it. One of the ideas is, well, we'll let everybody have a 3-inch blade. Well, that didn't set too well with the vast majority of us, and we hashed it out and probably spent another couple hours on it. And one of the things that I brought up was, well, if we give everybody a blade, then those guys with 650 horsepower, they need to give me something back. So why don't we give everybody a blade that runs a 6400 chip? Well, that didn't happen, of course, because there's unintended consequences. Maybe we were going to force everybody to build big, cube, lower RPM motors. Mm-hmm. The idea is we're trying to keep people racing, not spending money.
Let me ask you.
Every time you make a rules change, it costs money. Costs somebody something.
That brings me to my next question. I've been wanting to ask you for a while now. Is in a hypothetical world, let's say you've got a rule change you want to make that without a doubt is going to benefit racing. It's going to make it better, and that drivers are going to be happier with it. But it's going to cost a lot of money. How do you weigh the two to decide? Do we make the change because it's going to cost drivers a lot of money and it's going to benefit racing? How do you decide that change?
Well, I mean, you've got to hash out what does benefit racing mean to you? And then is it going to be a mandatory rule where everybody's got to have it? Or is it going to be an optional piece of equipment? I think I can see where you're going with it. Part of my argument is, and our problem is that when we make a rule change, it affects thousands of racers.
Right.
And it's all over the country. And it's the same way in relation to the 604 crate engine. We can't have a separate rule for a quarter-mile track from a half-mile track, and then we can't have a separate rule for a tacky track versus a dry-slip track, and we can't differentiate between hot laps and heat races and features.
Can you imagine an argument that would have come up about that?
Drivers got enough to argue about right now.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, we have to have a rule that is going to be effective across the country, from California to New York, from Texas to Estevan, Canada, and all points in between. We're not real strong as a sanction in the Southeast for one reason or another. Mm-hmm. We used to be out in Ohio. We used to be in Indiana. We used to be in Kentucky. I've gotten some calls from people recently about it. It's a little more of a determined process and a deliberate process that we go through and try and weigh the pros and cons. And it's not just racers. Don't forget, racers wouldn't have a place to play if it wasn't for promoters and racetracks. And the promoters have a large amount of input into what eventually happens also.
We're talking with Tom Gutowski, competition director for IMCA. And Tom, we appreciate you taking your time. We've got a few minutes left in the show, and I just wanted to ask you if maybe there was a racetrack that you have heard of. I guess it was called Sunset Speedway. Have you ever heard of that track?
Oh, our Sunset Speedway in Omaha?
Yeah. We're doing a special little event in a couple of weeks on January 22nd. Walk down Sunset Lane. I want to extend an invitation to you if you think you may be in the Omaha area. We'd love to have you come down and sit on the microphone and talk with us for a little bit.
Okay, well, I'd be glad to do that. I'm going to be back. I got a birthday coming up in January, and it just so happens that Columbus Swap Meet is always that weekend. So I'll be out in Columbus for their swap meet. I don't know. It's got to be I don't know what number it is, probably 30 or more. I don't know.
Wow.
I've been going out there in the spring for very many, many years.
Well, we hope to have you down there. I'll tell you what, I'll have Bud talk to you when we get done with the interview, and we'll see if we can't get you scheduled to come down and talk to us for a little bit and sit down and just shoot the breeze with a couple of old-time drivers.
Okay, that'd be great.
Tom, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day and sitting down with us two fools to talk a little bit of racing, and have a great regular off-season. We hope to see you at Quaker Steak and Lube on January 22nd.
Okay, well, Merry Christmas to everybody, and have a very happy and safe New Year.
Again, that was Tom Gutowski, our competition director for IMCA, joining us here on the front stretch, and we appreciate Tom's time as always, and hopefully he can join us, as you can too, January 22nd at Quaker Steak and Lube. It's the Walk Down Sunset Lane. It's our just sit down and kind of shoot the breeze with a bunch of drivers from the times at Sunset Speedway. So join us at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. Find us on Facebook. We have a page. It's an event, actually. You can find a link to it on the front stretch's Facebook page, or you can search for Walk Down Sunset Lane. Join us. Invite your friends. Bring out memorabilia. Bring out pictures. Bring out memories, T-shirts, hats, whatever you've got. We want to see it, and we want to talk about it. January 22nd at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. We're going to head over to turn number 3, which is going to be our Legends of the Dirt series, brought to you by Kaziski Auto Parts, online at KaziskiAutoparts.com at 51st and I Street. This week's legend is Don O'Neill. We'll be talking to him for the next 30 minutes. We hope you enjoy it. That's coming up next here on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com.
It's back again this year. Make memories at Quaker Steak and Lube on Monday, December 16th, and have dinner with Santa. Mr. and Mrs. Claus love the lube, and your family will too, with free photos with Santa. And the kids could win one of 3 Razor scooters we're giving away. Don't forget, stock up on the lube gift cards, the perfect stocking stuffer. Dinner with Mr. and Mrs. Claus, Monday, December 16th from 5 until 8 p.m. And don't forget, kids eat free with an adult purchase. Quaker Steak and Lube, next to the Mid America Center, Council Bluffs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Time to grab another tear-off and make your move. We're headed into turn 3 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting.
Heading into turn number 3, brought to you by Kaziski Auto Parts, online at KaziskiAutoparts.com or at 51st and I Street. Head to Kaziski Auto Parts for quality used parts at an affordable price. Team PRP will make sure that when you have a part that needs to be replaced, it's going to be the exact part you need. It's not some snot-nosed little kid that's behind a counter that just looks it up on a computer. These are experienced people that know exactly what your vehicle needs to get you back on the road. Kaziski Auto Parts, 51st and I Street in Omaha. The Legends of the Dirt series continue, and we're talking to the winner of the inaugural Silver Dollar Nationals at I-80 Speedway. It's Don O'Neill. Don, thanks for taking your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You were just saying, as we recorded this a few weeks back, you're grilling and it's close to zero. What are you doing, man?
I have no idea. I thought, well, I hadn't grilled for a while. I thought, well, it sounds good. I'm home tonight, and I thought, and after I got started here, I'm like, wow, maybe it wasn't a very good idea.
Are you at least standing inside while the meat's cooking?
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm standing inside here looking at the grill thinking, well, I don't want to go back out there, but I won't have to.
Well, we're not going to take too much of your time. I don't want to interfere with your dinner. I guess I should ask you, smoking or grilling?
Grilling.
Okay. All right, what are you making us?
Pork chops.
God, that sounds good. It's a lot better than the Snickers bar I just finished.
I understand.
Don, let's talk about the start of your racing career. What got you into it? Are you a second-generation, third-generation driver?
Yeah, second generation. Grew up on Saturday nights, and my father run at a local racetrack there, just a few miles down the road.
What got you started in racing? Was it your dad? You sitting there watching your dad? Were you a fan of the sport on the outside of it? I mean, what really got it cemented for you?
Well, I mean, anytime you sit and watch your dad race, I mean, and you become involved in it, and it's sort of something that grows on you, and you never get rid of. And
actually, went off to work, through school and never done much racing, and got into motocross racing and done quite a bit of that, and was never very good at it. Was hurt all the time. And then got into dirt late model racing, and my dad went out, and actually me and my brother were only like a year apart, and he spent a lot of money on both of us, and that's what, if it wasn't for him doing that, I would never have the chances I've had today.
Was it always a dirt late model, or were there other vehicles you drove too?
Yeah, actually, the first race cars I drove was stock front clips back in probably 88 or 89, and I won a race or so in that, and then in 90s whenever we won late model racing.
And then how come you chose the 71? Was that because of your dad, or just a number you picked out of a hat?
No, because of my dad.
Yeah.
Don, I know you've raced many, many years at the Brownstown Speedway, won the Jackson 100, or probably won every special event they had there. Is that kind of your home track for many years?
Yeah, it is. I mean, actually, the first few races I run was at Prairie Speedway, and then when we went late model racing, closest tracks was Brownstown and North Vernon Speedway, and I can't really remember if the first late model race was one at North Vernon Speedway or the Brownstown Speedway, one of the two, but, they're within the same distance from my house. And, probably I've cut more laps at Brownstown Speedway than I have any other ones.
Your nickname is The Real Deal, and I think your win categories and some of the races you've won at has backed that up. How did you get that nickname?
Well, actually, it was a fellow from Kentucky that used to do announcing down at Bardstown Speedway and stuff, and he done some announcing at Brownstown Speedway, and he was the one that came up with that in the early 90s, and it sort of stuck with me ever since.
Was there any other nicknames throughout your career, and that one just stuck, or?
Well, there's probably been a few, but we probably don't want to talk about it.
We won't talk about it. I think Jimmy Mars had one for you a number of years ago at Knoxville, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, they've been several of them. It's got a few for me. But.
Hey, Don, you ran also for many, many years the UMP Summer Nationals, a.k.a. the Hell Tour, and that was just a brutal series, 26, 28 races in 30 days. I know you won it, I think, in 2004. Tell us a little bit about running that series.
Especially, when you get a little older and stuff, and then you look at doing that whole deal, and, I mean, it's a tough deal now. I mean, especially the way they're doing it now. I mean, back then when we done it, it was hard. It's like it could be the best month of your life, or it could be the worst month of your life, and I've had it go both ways. So, I mean, it's tough. It is tough. I mean, and it's good help and good equipment, and that's what determines whether it's a good month or a bad month.
Lee, did you say 28 races in 30 days?
They have ran as many as 28 races in 30 days. Their schedule just came out. They actually last year added a week, so now they run 33 races in 39 days. But
wow.
Their typical schedule was 27, 28 days and 30 nights. It was brutal. That's why they call it the Hell Tour.
I gotta imagine that's a really hard tour to be successful in, because if you start to have a down streak, any kind of a rough patch, you don't have much time to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that's on that deal is not to have no motor problems. I mean, and you got a good motor program and run that whole deal with the motors, with a couple motors, and you really done something. But you go ahead and motor troubles when you're running, it really makes it a rough month.
You've had some pretty big wins in your career, and I was kind of tallying up. 2011, you won some nice races, $100,000 to win the Dream at Eldora. You won, $50,000 with the Dirt Track World Championship in October. You won the Silver Dollar Nationals at I-80 Speedway. What was that at the time, Lee?
That was 25,
25?
And then he won Knoxville for 40 that year.
Is that would you say that's one of your most successful years, or have you had another year that outshines it?
Well, I've had, some other years that, a lot of races built up to the amount of money, but to win, that many crown jewels in one year, that'd have to be, top of the list.
Just, we talked about, or a couple of weeks ago, they announced that you're going to be joining Clint Boyer Racing. Can you talk about that a little bit? Obviously, you're excited about it.
Oh, man, I mean, really excited. I got to do a couple races with them here, before the end of the season and spend some time at the shop and, with all the guys, going to keep the shop up and, keeps the cars up and spend some time at the shop with Clint and them. my gosh, I think it's just, best opportunity I've ever had in my life, not taking that thing away from any of the other teams I've raced for, and especially the Masterbuilt team. We've had a great 5 years, and but I'm no spring chicken now, so, I mean, do whatever I think, that's best for Don O'Neill right now, and I thought was the right move to do, and just the resources that's down there and stuff, and I've never seen, in dirt late model racing like they do down there.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if this was a big move for you. Lee and I were talking about it earlier today when we were emailing back and forth. Clint Boyer Racing, that's a big name, and so I got to imagine, is it probably one of the more well-funded organizations you've been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not don't like for anything in the sport whatsoever. So, I mean, and the only thing we need to do on my end is go out there and win races. I mean, everything's there for us to do it, and if we don't have it, we will get it. So, I mean, that's just, hopefully the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah, well, if all you got to do is go out there and win, you're golden.
Well, I hope we can.
Hey, Don, that dwells on, they run Barry Wrights, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're coming from a Masterbuilt. Tell the fans, is there much of an adjustment when you switch from one kind of chassis to another?
Well, I mean, whenever I'm running a couple of races here at the end of the year, and after being in a Masterbuilt car for so many years and switching this other chassis, I see some points that's a lot better, and then maybe a few points that, it maybe lacks a little bit, but I'm hoping that better points is overriding, the other points. So, let's say, I mean, it's, everybody, at Barry Wright team, my gosh, after spending a few days down there at the shop, how hard they work to try to make their chassis better and everything is really impressive.
Is there a race that you can say, I mean, we've talked about some of your big wins. We talked about them in 2011, but is there a race that you can remember that maybe just sticks with you that you should have won, but maybe you broke your concentration, maybe something happened to where you lost it and it really kind of left a bitter taste in your mouth because you should have won that race?
Well, that had to be probably, the North-South race probably a few years ago when Jimmy Morris passed me on the last lap to win it. I mean, that, for $50,000, that would probably have to be the worst one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you made up for it since, right, by winning that race twice?
Yeah, but that's actually, that place is not very far from home here neither. So
right.
And to win to go win that thing back to back for 2 years is it's something really special that most people never get to do too.
Does it make it extra special since you lost it that first time and you came back and won it back to back?
Oh, it does. Yeah. And I don't want to lose it again.
Just go ahead and keep getting MWs. I mean, we also talked about, some of the big paying wins. I'm not a kind of a guy that can really handle instant pressure. Like, I would not be a good competitor in a sense of an athlete, and that's probably the reason why I do more of a radio show than anything. But when you're sitting there and you've got 2-3 laps left to go, and this race is paying out $100,000 to win, $55,000 to win, whatever it be to win, one big paycheck, does that start to creep into the back of your head?
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, when you're running there, it's just nothing different than I done in Knoxville. I mean, just, went in there too aggressive and wrecked a race car, with just a few laps to go, and nobody's fault but my own. It's just something that it's not from a lack of effort, it's just a little over, aggressiveness, and it's just trying hard and then trying a little too hard, but you just want to win. I mean, that's what I go there for, is a win, and that's the bottom line.
What is your proudest win of all? Maybe not one that paid out the most. Maybe it was one that was just really hard for you to get, and you're just super excited about it.
No, it has to be a dream. I mean, because that place ain't 2.5 hours from the house, and been going there for a lot of years, and had a lot of good race cars, and never been able to finish a race, something break or something, and to go there and conquer that is definitely the highlight of my career.
We're talking with the real deal, Don O'Neill, driving the number 71 late model, about ready to start driving the number 5 late model for Clint Boyer Racing. We're going to take a quick break, let Don flip them pork chops, and then we'll be back to finish the interview. This is the Legends of the Dirt Series, brought to you by Kaziski Auto Parts on The Front Stretch.
We have all been there before. Broken car part in your hand and some snot-nosed punk behind the counter has no idea what he is talking about, but he guarantees that this part will fix your car. You pay an arm and a leg for the replacement, get it home, and sure enough, it doesn't fit your car. Now, learn from your mistake and give an experienced salesperson at Kosiski Auto Parts a call today at 402-731-4592. Kosiski Auto Parts will get you back on the road with your arms and legs still attached.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Get ready for the victory lap as we make our way into Turn 4 on the front stretch. Presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Ready to wrap this baby up, heading into Turn 4, and on to conversation number 2 with the real deal, Don O'Neill, driver of the number 71 late model. Don, are you going to miss driving the 71 now that you're moving over to drive the 5, or is a number just kind of a number?
Well, I mean, you can't tell what number it is from the inside of a race car at all. I mean, so it's not. No, not really. I want a bit. I mean, that's probably more of a thing. I regret it for my fans more than it's got always 71 done on their T-shirts. Blue number 5. I can't tell what color that car is from the inside, or what number it is. Are
you going to race the 71 on maybe some off dates with the 5, or is it going to be all the 5 all the time?
It's going to be 5 part of the time, and I'm working on some other deals maybe to get there, do a few races with some other people. I've done races in the past, and that's yet to be determined.
So we may still see the 71 out there, though.
I can't really answer that right now.
Okay. We'll stay hopeful. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds good.
Hey, Don, one of your first big wins was the Dixie Shootout in 2003. That was like $55,000, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, that was back when I was, with Petro Towing sponsorship and stuff, and actually, I think you may own my stuff then, but to go there and never won a big race like that in my life, and go there and start 16th, and I mean, I don't remember where I started at. How about that? But anyway, start and the win that came right then. That's when Dan Sleeper was winning everything there was to win. The passing in the van was definitely a huge achievement for us.
Don, when you got started racing a few years back, what was it that finally made it kind of cement in your head that you're going to be good at this? Was there a decisive win, or maybe it was just something that clicked in your head at a certain race that you realized, I'm going to be good at this?
Well, I think it was, I grew up in the logging and sawmill business, so what my father grew up in and stuff, and have to sit in a sawmill cab for 10 hours a day and make boards and think, well, this racing ain't near as bad as sitting in that saw cab. So I think that's what determined, I'm going to be good at racing.
Maybe it wasn't what determined it, it was determination that did it.
That's exactly right. Naturally, whenever I was kids and stuff, and all my buddies and stuff was, I actually wasn't a kid, but a young adult, and all my buddies was running around drinking and nights and stuff, and I spent all my nights in a race car garage.
There's a lot of conversation about the health of the late models. I can't really speak to how it is in your neck of the woods or throughout the rest of the country, but there does seem to be some diminishing car counts here in the Midwest, and I'm gonna blame it primarily on the cost of these things. Is there anything that you've thought of over the years that you could think maybe the late model industry needs to look into going towards to try to get these things a little bit cheaper?
I don't know. I mean, you're exactly right. They are diminishing. I mean, even, right here, in central Indiana, where the car counts has been the largest as they have been anywhere, over the years, has diminished a bunch. And a lot of times you go to a local race of Brownstown stuff, and they'd have 60 cars on a regular show. I mean, now in days are over, they're lucky to have 20 to 30. So, and what it's going to take to turn it around, I don't know. But I mean, exactly, it's all about the cost. Your regular Saturday night racer just can't afford to do it anymore, and so I don't know which directions. A lot of people's try to go in different directions, and I don't really know what the answer is for that.
Yeah, I was just talking with a local restaurant owner here in Council Bluffs, and he was telling me that To put a good car, a good late model, 10, 15 years ago when he was still racing, you're looking at probably $80,000. Is it? I know you're on a much higher level, so would I be outrageous to say, you probably put a good late model for Don O'Neill is probably going to be somewhere in the $100,000, $125,000 range?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, when you buy one car, a complete race car, you're just getting started. You got, you go out and go racing like we do. Then you got to have a spare car, and then you got to have all the spare parts it takes to go with it to fix it in case you wreck it, and all the tire bills. So I mean, it's massive. I really don't know what the total dollar is, but it's a hand. I do know that.
Maybe it's better you don't know it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I got a 13-year-old son that's doing some asphalt racing in Florida and stuff, and so yeah, and it's way out of hand. It's probably worse than the dirt stuff is. Oh,
when you start throwing NASCAR in there, zeros get tacked on really quickly.
Yeah.
Talk about your ideal track you love to go and race at. Anything from configuration of the track, long, short, high banked, flat, to even track conditions. What is an ideal track for you?
My gosh, I mean, back in the days, Summer National racing and everything, up on the wheel, driving hard, and as I get older now, it's like, I really enjoy the bigger tracks too. I mean, I enjoy the small ones too, because there ain't too many racetracks you really have to get up on a wheel real hard and race anymore like you used to have to. But nowadays it's like, I don't know, just I enjoy the bigger tracks a little better now.
We talked about that all you pretty much race, or you raced a little bit other than just your late models. Have you ever considered or had the opportunity to race sprints?
Yes, actually I did. After the Knoxville deal when I was hurt and stuff, and local sprint car team come to me and wanted to know if I'd been racing, running some non-wing sprint car races. Well, I could just break their neck and stuff, and, I figured the best interest was me. I didn't need to be getting in no damn sprint car.
Especially non-winged in Indiana, right?
Oh.
That's exactly right.
I can't believe anybody races them things without wings.
I know, that's just like my son. You got an opportunity to put him in one and let him run some races and stuff, and it's just the risk factor is just probably the greater than anything that there is in dirt racing. So I don't think that's going to happen.
You've got yourself one championship for the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series, and now, like we talked about earlier, joining Clint Boyer Racing, who your now teammate finished second in the point standings. Does that give you a little bit extra confidence boost walking into this year's series that you're going to be able to hoist the trophy for a second time?
Well, there's not been a first time yet.
Oh, I thought I read that you'd won it.
No, I was like 300 points ahead with two races to go, and so did away a few years ago when Earl won it. But anyway, with a teammate with a veteran like Francis and stuff, and that's one of the main reasons why I think this deal was going to be so good, that we can work with each other and make each one of us better, make our race cars better and have opportunities to win this championship. Because if I don't win the championship in the next 2 years, that's probably going to be one of the most disappointing, things in my racing career.
Well, the combined years and knowledge and experience that you and Steve will have is going to be pretty awesome.
Well, I think so too. I mean, we just got to work together. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And we both play on that racetrack, so we'll outrun each other each night in and out. But the biggest thing is, whether we're first or second, whatever it is, but we just need to work together and make sure that we both got the best race cars, that we can make possible.
We're talking with Don O'Neill, the real deal Don O'Neill, as a part of the Legends of the Dirt Series. Don, we've talked to some of these legends, and I've asked them the question, are they good at sharing information? And you just kind of hit on it, that if you and Francis can be good at working together, then you guys have a real chance of some big success. Are you good at sharing information, or is that something you're going to have to kind of get used to?
Well, I've never really had a teammate like this. I mean, with Masterbuilt stuff, had Ray cook a little bit, just done, but he didn't do the whole years with us and everything. So I can see that that's what makes a two-car team better. And if you don't share that with each other, it's defeating the purpose. And I know down at CBR, that's their goal is what to do, and I can't see it not happening.
You won the inaugural Silver Dollar Nationals at I-80 Speedway in 2011. We saw you there last year in 2012. You're going to come back for 2013 and in 2014. You're going to come back this year and try for one more time.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there, and hopefully I can get that peak motor oil in Crawford Supply in Victory Lane.
It'd be great to see you hoist the trophy one more time. I think Joe and Lee upped the payout this year. Instead of doing $1,000 incremental every year, they just went ahead and said, you know what, we're doing $30,000 to win.
I know, that's pretty awesome. They're really trying to make that a special event, and Gutowski's worked at it hard, and really hats off to them guys, for what they do for our sport too.
Well, you guys have really helped make that Silver Dollar Nationals a special event, and we appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Don, is there a driver that you've kept your eye on over the last few years that kind of maybe in the back of your head, or maybe you have talked about it, that you really think is going to be the next big breakout on the Dirt Series?
Probably the kid that impresses me most. It has to be, for his age. It had to be that. Probably has to be that Pierce boy.
Yeah.
What is he? He's 16 now, or 15, or whatever he is. And what he's done. I grew up with Bob, racing a lot of races with Bob, and I know him and Angie spent a ton of money on this kid growing him up racing like he has, and it's paid off for him, and he's going to be an excellent race.
Lee, do you know the Pierce he's talking about?
Who did you say, Don?
Bobby Pierce.
Oh, yeah, the short, cool one, yeah. He is. I haven't seen him very often, and the reason I say short, cool one, Dan, is because his dad was known as tall, cool one. But Bobby Pierce is in a few years, I watched him a lot on Dirt. That kid is a driver.
And he is. He's really good, and he's got a really good head on his shoulder, and we'll just have to wait to see. I thought they was going to see a few other ones that really come way up like that real quick, and it never happened, but you never know.
Well, he's got a great mentor to help him out, so.
That's exactly right. There's nothing better, somebody like your dad has done it all his life for a living, and then be able to take your kid, and that's something, it's really, hopefully one day I'll have time to do with my son.
Well, Don, we do appreciate your time. We'll let you go and let you enjoy your dinner, and thanks so much for being a part of the Legends of the Dirt Series, and we can't wait to see you out at Silver Dollar Nationals this year.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right, take care, Don.
All right, Don O'Neill, former driver of the 71 Silver Dollar Nationals. I've got those dates all screwed up. Was 2011 the first year, or 2010 was the first year for the
2011.
Okay. So then
the years just roll on, Dan. When you get older, they get worse.
I'm only 31, and it's bad enough.
You haven't seen anything yet.
That's probably true. Lee, thanks so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Are you excited for the walk down Sunset Lane coming up in a couple of weeks?
Oh, yeah, and I'm definitely excited for the 2014 Silver Dollar Nationals. And
you guys are working on some fun stuff out there at I-80 Speedway.
I tell you, I think next year is with that and the Midwest Fall Brawl, it just keeps getting better. And I used to complain about not having a race in my own backyard, and here I am working on a thing.
Next weekend, we're going to talk with Ed Sanger about his time. He'll be our Legends of the Dirt Series, the first one of the 2014. It's been a great 2013. And like I said last year, I can't wait to do it all over again. Don't forget to join us January 22nd, just a few weeks away, for the recording of the Walk Down Sunset Lane. We're going to have some awesome drivers there. They're going to tell stories about their times. We're going to have owners, promoters. We're going to have all sorts of characters throughout the racing community that are going to help us tell stories about Sunset Speedway. So you're not going to want to miss it. Get to Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs January 22nd. It's a Wednesday night. We're going to start recording about 6 o'clock, and we're going to do about 2 hours, at least 2 hours of recording, because I need 2 shows worth of audio that's going to air January 26th and then February 2nd. So come join us at Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs for the Walk Down Sunset Lane. And thank you for joining us today on the Front Stretch. Have a great rest of your 2013, and we'll talk to you in 2014.
It's back again this year. Make memories at Quaker Steak and Lube on Monday, December 16th, and have dinner with Santa. Mr. and Mrs. Claus love the lube, and your family will too, with free photos with Santa. And the kids could win one of 3 Razor scooters we're giving away. Don't forget, stock up on the lube gift cards, the perfect stocking stuffer. Dinner with Mr. and Mrs. Claus, Monday, December 16th from 5 until 8 p.m. And don't forget, kids eat free with an adult purchase. Quaker Steak and Lube, next to the Mid America Center, Council Bluffs. 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 Center, Council Bluffs.